Settling an estate is tough enough when you're local, but what do you do if you can't get to the property if you're out of state? Stick around and find out. Hi, I'm Bill Eaves, Associate Broker with RE/MAX in Bensalem and Probate Expert. Let me explain the process to you and how you can do things from a distance, remotely. First thing, you always change the mail. Have the mail forwarded to your address if you're going to be the executor, executrix, administrator, or administratrix. We're going to title that all under executor. So have the mail forwarded to you. That's always step number one. You are going to file for probate, but that can all be done online. You want to hire a local locksmith, and if you don't have one, if you're in a Philly area outside of Northeast Philadelphia, you give me a buzz and I'll hook you up with one. But you want to hire a locksmith to change the locks because you don't know who has keys and you don't know who's going in. All that can be done online. Ideally, if you have to probate the will, you might want to do that before you have the locks changed, but still, it's always advisable to have the locks changed as soon as possible. Secure the building, secure the property. That's always step number one. Number two after the mail, actually, pardon me. So as far as being there, not being able to be there, when it comes to the contents of the house, there are companies, and again, call me if you need a referral, companies that will come out and say, okay, this is worth this is worth that, this is worth the other thing. Now you can go two routes with this, or a couple different routes. Number one, you can just pay for a clean out, have everything thrown in a dumpster. It's sad when people do that, but it is an option. Second thing you can do is run through the house and, or have somebody go through the house and grab the stuff that you know is valuable that you want to keep. You can also have some of the heirs come over and grab the stuff that they want to keep, stuff that's sentimental. You can hire an auction company. A regular auction company will come in and they'll just take the really good stuff, the stuff they can make a profit on, and leave the rest. Now, you or the future buyer will have to deal with the clean out at some point in time. Somebody's going to have to pay to get it cleaned out. The best way I've found is once you've done everything that you know is sentimental, you have a professional come in and they put the stuff in lots and sell it online in an online auction. I've talked about this in other videos, so I'm not really going to go too far into it. In the next video, I'll actually show you what one of those looks like. But for now, let's say that you have a crystal. There's crystal in the house, and there's dishes in the kitchen. Well, dishes in the kitchen aren't worth anything. You're going to have to pay to get those cleaned out, but you'll make some money on the crystal. Well, if you sell the crystal in a lot with the dishes, they can get the crystal, but they have to get the dish. They have to take the dishes with them. So you get your clean out, and you're making a profit from it, so you don't have to pay for the clean out and just make a profit, which usually offset each other anyway. So at least you'll make more money for the estate doing it that way, and it's easier, and you can do it remotely. You don't have to be there. These guys come in and take care of it all. The next thing is with Zoom. If you have an attorney, at least in Philadelphia and I believe Bucks County, so it pretty much stands to reason all of them would follow suit. If you have an attorney, you can do a Zoom meeting. The attorney sets it up with probate. You can file the paperwork yourself, but if you don't have an attorney, at least in Philadelphia, you have to show up. The next thing you can do via Zoom is all the information you need from the realtor. We can go out to the house and do a walkthrough and help you inventory everything, kind of show you what's there, what shape it's in. And then we can turn to Zoom. I'm going to show you what that looks like now. Hey, so I want to show you what it looks like if you're in a Zoom meeting with the realtor. First thing I got to do, I got to share the screen. Okay, so now you should see a picture of a house right where I'm circling. This is a house that we sold last year in a state. I'm not going to kind of give you anything, outside of, it's not public record. So when you do Zoom poll, the first thing we do is make sure who the owner is, if there's any other owners, if it's a decent realtor like myself. Go through the sale of mortgages because you want to see if there's any mortgages on here from the past that you don't know about, especially with you being an executor, executrix, administrator, administratrix. That's the first thing they should be checking. Now, I'm going to go to see what this should sell for. I always choose to go to the map. I want to see what the neighborhood is doing. Up the address. And there we have the house. So most of these houses around here are not like that one. However, this is just for example purposes. So we'll look at what's coming soon, what's selling now. What's selling now has an agreement on it. What's pending, meaning that it's under agreement and about to go to settlement. What's temporarily off the market, which can also mean that it's pending. Sometimes we do that, and we just want to go back 90 days because that's what an appraiser would do. So I'm going to go back to the map. You can see there's a whole lot of stuff going on in that neighborhood. So again, for purposes only, I'm just going to go down to the next major roads. I'll give you a sampling of what it looks like when we're doing a market analysis on a listing. Now, normally I would put in how many bedrooms, how many baths, what kind of a house it is. Is it a single? Because this one in particular was a single. But for right now, I just kind of want to show you what it looks like and show you this. Yes, this can be done online from a remote location. You don't have to be sitting right in front of the realtor to get this stuff done. You got Fuller Street sold 259, 289, 229, 409, 1.2. I don't know what happened there. 299, 278, 279, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you see basically what the neighborhood pretty much goes for under 3, and we got one here, 349. So, and then you could dive into these houses and gauge can show you comparable people in professional photography. They kind of just show you all through the house and do an accurate, comparable market analysis. Now, paperwork. When you want to do the paperwork and actually list it, this is actually for a buyer, but I'm just going to show it to you. This is a consumer notice. Tell you who the seller agent is, who the buyer agent, but what a seller agent does works for the seller, buyer agent works for the buyer, dual agent is where the brokerage works for both. My company has a practice designated agency, so I'm saying. Now, the listing agreement. You hire an agent, you're going to have a listing agreement. Do this all by the phone. Your initials would get put in there. I don't have any names in here. Oh, excuse me, for the broker's initials, seller's initials, and everything gets done online. You just need a computer. When the house gets sold, when you have offers come in, standard agreement will look like estate of so-and-so. The address, who represents the buyer, who represents the seller. Hopefully that's us at RE/MAX. Just a hint. And then all the terms are laid out. They'll all be gone over slowly online. You'll also know, now I give this when the house first gets listed, because I wanted you to know that what you're going to net. So if you put in a, say you have a $300,000, $500,000, we'll say, sale price, what's commission, T-purchase, transfer tax, and what you're going to net. Okay, let's say you have 25,000 costs, and I would actually plug in what you would net. I like to let you know that right up front. So that's what it looks like on Zoom when you're going over the paperwork. Pretty simple. So that's a Zoom meeting where you can go over all the paperwork. You can run all the comps for the listing, make sure you're comfortable with what it's worth, and sign all the paperwork online. It's really easy. Now, when it comes to settlement itself, there are going to be some papers you need what we call wet signatures on. When the house sells, the title company will most likely get involved, or an attorney's office, to handle the title for the buyer. title insurance, make sure everything's paid off and the proper paperwork is done. What they do is they can prepare a deed package. It's all the papers you would sign at settlement except for one, and they mail it out to you or they email it to you, and you can print it, have it signed in front of a notary, has to be notarized, and then you send it back in an overnight package that they've provided, or at least the label that they've provided, so it doesn't cost you anything, you pay for it out of the proceeds. It's very easy. We even do that locally since COVID. We started doing that locally, and it's really convenient for the sellers not to have to show up at settlement and wait a couple hours for the buyer's paperwork to go through and all that kind of stuff. So if you're out of the country, that's a little trickier because it can be notarized by any notary in the United States, including Alaska, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii. If you're in Mexico, Canada, or anywhere else, it's a little trickier. The title company will have to walk you through that, but suffice it to say, it can be done. So there you have it. If you're out of state and you have to handle an estate sale back home in another state, there's your method to do it. It's a little more hoops to jump through, but it's actually pretty easy if you have somebody that knows what they're doing, like me. If you found this information useful, you'd like some more information on estates and even selling in general, feel free to check out my other videos, and always please like and subscribe.